Moving on now, the Victorian Premier Daniel Andrews has defended his government's decision to tax big business and landlords to pay off the state's record debt. Georgia Simpson has the details.
Victorian Premier Daniel Andrews wants to pay down the state's COVID debt and his increased taxes to do it. Big businesses have been slugged with higher payroll tax, and business leaders are concerned it could lead to job losses.
Now, for the next 10 years, we're going to take a hit on repaying that COVID debt levy. That will result in some businesses deciding not to continue in this state, but it will certainly most likely result in job losses and businesses not expanding beyond where they are today.
Okay, do you put a levy on the top 5% of businesses, or do you cut hospitals and schools? And the answer to that is very clearly, we don't cut hospitals and schools.
There's also concerns an increase in land tax could be passed on to renters in an already volatile market. The Premier said it's not land tax driving up rent, but a lack of supply. He's also pointed out any land tax is fully tax deductible.
Well, landlords, any land tax is fully tax deductible, depending on the way in which they have their affairs arranged.
On Victoria's record debt, Senator Jane Hume didn't mince her words.
Let's face it, Victoria is broke. It's a failed state, and Victorians are being punished for the incompetence and, let's face it, let's say the word out loud, the corruption of this Victorian government and this Premier.
On the streets of Melbourne, Victorians had mixed feelings.
Public transport is pretty good, but I think there needs to be more infrastructure in the outer suburbs where there isn't much.
I think it's going to be about $1,600 to $1,800 more. I think they've reduced the cap, as I understand. I've not been through the details, but we'll be impacted, but yeah, it's fine. We understand why it was implemented.
I'm hopeful that what he said, if he does, it will be really good for the Melbournians and the Victorian as a whole.
They've got to be sensible and reclaim money, so they've just got to get on and do that and be definitive, not muck around. So I think what they've seemed to have done's hopefully good.
As for whether the Premier would have delivered this budget if an election was looming...
Well, I did lock people in their homes for a couple of years, mate, and I didn't do that for political benefit. I did it because it was the right thing to do. As I said to you, with the greatest of respect, tell me if I'm wrong, but I think I've demonstrated to the Victorian community really clearly that I'm not just about doing the popular thing, I'm about doing what's right. And the right thing is to pay that credit card down.
Victoria's opposition is criticising the cost blowouts associated with major infrastructure projects and attacking the government for the budget's hit to some middle-income earners. Despite the $565 million blowout, Victoria's big build is going ahead. It'll just take longer to complete.